the first presentation about faith-based institutions or religiously affiliated colleges and universities. That was a poster presentation, so I collected data from athletics practitioners at all the D1 institutions that are considered religiously affiliated. And I took their responses to see how religious their university is versus how religious the athletics department, how religious the athletics department is. And I put together a typography for those individuals. So you may have some universities or some practitioners who view their university as very religious, but athletics isn't very religious, or they may say athletics is incredibly religious and the university isn't. Both may not be. So again, there's a couple combinations that came along with that. And I got a lot of great feedback. A lot of folks were very interested in the work that I was doing because no one's really been able to unpack those two elements. A lot of times we see that athletics and the university are largely separate. And I have the argument that when you start looking at special mission institutions, these universities that have underlying values, missions, and ways of operating, that bleeds over into the athletic space. So I think it's important to highlight that interaction. And then the second presentation I had was a traditional presentation, and it looked at the consideration of power when it comes to the way that we seek to understand sport as a social institution. So looking at how people, organizations, ways of thinking, how it all falls within a particular tier or a specific hierarchy, and how that shapes the way that we operate. So perfect example is looking at KU. We understand how KU operates as an athletics enterprise, and that some of the normative values, cultures, and ways of thinking that are salient to University of Kansas may not be salient elsewhere. So if we have people transition from KU to a different university in their athletics department, they're bringing in their set of assumptions that they've developed from their space. You can apply this to any university. You can look at one university that has a championship culture versus one that doesn't, one university that has longevity as part of their personnel culture, so a lot of their staff members are there 5+ years, versus one that typically has like a lot of turnover. All of those things shapes the way that we understand and the way that we navigate through spaces. So I wanted to put together a presentation on how we should consider those elements when we're looking at sport. Actually, this is my first NASSM, so between being a PhD student and then just wrapping up my 4th year at KU, I've gone 8 years within the sport management space, not being at NASSM in person. I only have one other NASSM where I attended virtually. So being able to be there in person, engage with a lot of people who I've cited, whose research I respect, and then being able to also have other people say that they respect the work that I'm doing, that they see that I'm doing great work, and that they're excited for my future at KU, my future as a scholar overall. It definitely put a battery in my back. This summer was incredibly productive, and then I'm already excited to go into the fall to continue that trend. So going to NASSM, being in that space, I definitely see this being a conference that I want to attend consistently and that I want to become more involved in because I had such a great experience. I have a few projects that I'm working on. I have 2 currently that are with my co-authors, and I have 2 that I need to finish and get off my desk before classes start. So I'm excited to get both of those off of my desk and then get my co-authors get their green light to go ahead and submit those projects. So I have at least 4 before classes start. Outside of that, I'm going to keep putting things in the pipeline and letting it go through, but I'm already prepping some big projects for NASSM 2027. It'll be in Vancouver, and I feel like it's a full circle because my very first academic conference was actually in Vancouver my first year as a PhD student. So being able to go full circle, get back to Vancouver, and present some more research, I'm incredibly excited for it. And I'm just looking at this as an opportunity to just keep growing myself, but then also growing the reputation of the program here at KU.